There's something. I don't know what I'm looking at. It's not a plane. It's huge and it's not making any sound. Soon that whisper turned into a flood of phone calls. Dozens, then hundreds. And all of them described the same thing. A massive V-shaped formation of lights, silently gliding over the Arizona sky. The sun had just dipped below the horizon on March 13, 1997. Arizona's desert skies, normally peaceful and starlit, were about to host one of the most unnerving and mysterious events in American history. It began as a whisper, an odd call to the Phoenix police switchboard around 7:55 p.m. Over Prescott Valley retired police officer Tim Lay was standing outside with his wife and children in Prescott Valley when they noticed something strange in the sky. "Look at that," Tim muttered, eyes narrowing. "Is that a formation of jets?" his son asked. "Too quiet," Tim replied, "and it's not breaking formation. That's one solid shape." The craft was enormous, bigger than a football field, maybe two or three. 5 lights arranged in a V hovered silently. It was low, barely above the altitude of small planes, yet not a single sound emerged from it. As it passed slowly overhead, the Lay family stood frozen. "It was like watching a city floating above us," his wife whispered. "It blocked out the stars. You couldn't see anything above it, just blackness in those lights." They weren't alone. Phone calls, flood and all. Across the state, witnesses stared upward in disbelief. Calls flooded into local radio stations. Police stations were overwhelmed. A teenager named Lisa Martinez in Phoenix called into a local radio show in a panicked voice. "It's over our neighborhood right now. My dad's outside yelling. Everyone's out on the street. It's huge." The radio DJ, stunned by the sheer number of similar calls, stepped outside the station himself. What he saw left him speechless for a full minute on air. "Folks, I can't explain it. There's a massive V of lights just hanging in the sky. This isn't a prank. This is real, the Phoenix flyover." By 8:30 p.m., the craft had reached Phoenix proper. Dr. Lynn Keady, a local physician and scientist, was photographing the night sky from her mountainside home. She documented strange lights before, but this was different. She quickly snapped images before running inside to get her video camera. It was absolutely silent. That was the most disturbing thing. "It moved like it was gliding through water, not air," she later said. "I've never seen anything like it in my life, and I've studied aircraft." At around the same time, former Arizona Governor Fife Symington was reportedly outside himself when he witnessed the phenomenon. It was undeniably massive. Otherworldly, he would admit years later. It defied logic. If you were there, you knew something truly strange had just happened. But in the moment, the public didn't know what to believe. News helicopters were grounded. No mainstream media was yet reporting it. Over Tucson and beyond, the lights continued their journey southward toward Tucson and eventually disappeared into the horizon near the Mexican border. For nearly 3 hours, thousands of Arizona residents had watched something glide through the sky that should not have existed. Military officials offered explanations the next day. "Flares," they said, "routine military exercises." But the people of Arizona weren't buying it. A veteran pilot who requested anonymity said during an interview with a local reporter, "I've flown for 30 years. I know what flares look like. That thing? It wasn't flares. It moved like a single object, intelligently, deliberately. And it made no sound." The Air Force denial. On March 14th, the U.S. Air Force issued a statement claiming that the lights were likely flares dropped from A-10 Warthogs during training exercises at the Barry Goldwater Range. But that explanation didn't sit right with many witnesses. especially those who saw the craft hours before the flares were reportedly released. "Flares don't fly in formation," said Scott Mitchell, a truck driver who had pulled off I-17 to watch the craft. "And they sure as hell don't block out the stars." This thing was solid, huge, and it was right above me. Some pilots speculated it could have been a classified military craft, possibly experimental. But the sheer size and silence seemed beyond current aviation capabilities. The airspace above Phoenix is well monitored. If this were a rogue aircraft, military jets would have scrambled. But nothing. You expect radar hits. You expect a sonic boom. Something. But it was like this thing was cloaked, not just visually, but from all systems, said a retired FAA radar technician who reviewed tapes from that night. The governor's joke and the truth. Later revealed. A few days after the incident, Governor Fife Symington held a press conference to address the UFO hysteria. In a move that outraged many residents, he brought out an aide dressed in an alien costume. "You guys are too serious," he said, laughing. "This is who was flying the spaceship." The crowd laughed nervously, but the damage was done. The seriousness of thousands of witnesses had just been mocked. Years later, Symington would reveal that he too had seen the craft that night. "As a pilot and a former Air Force officer, I can definitively say this was not man-made. I tried to maintain calm at the time, but I saw it. So did thousands of others, the aftermath." The Phoenix Lights remain one of the most well-documented and widespread UFO sightings in modern history. From 7:55 p.m. to nearly 10 p.m., thousands of people saw something massive move across the Arizona sky. A documentary filmmaker, James Fox, later interviewed over 100 witnesses from that night. Many were ex-military, pilots, doctors, and everyday people with nothing to gain from lying. One of the most haunting interviews came from a woman named Angela, who lived near the Estrella Mountains. "I was outside with my dog when it passed over. I swear, time slowed down. My heart was pounding. The silence was unbearable. My dog started whining and shaking. I'll never forget it. That thing wasn't from here to this day. No definitive explanation has ever satisfied the public. Flares don't fly in a perfect V, Doctor," Lynn Kite insists. "Flares don't hover, don't glide silently, and don't appear hours before they're even launched." The Phoenix Lights incident remains unsolved. Epilogue. In the years since, more footage has surfaced, books have been written, and documentaries have aired. Still, no official government report acknowledges the event as unexplained. But for the people of Arizona, they don't need confirmation. They know what they saw. "It wasn't a flare. It wasn't a plane. It was something," says Tim Lay, still haunted by that night. And I'll go to my grave saying that. In the vast open skies of Arizona, on a quiet March night, something massive, silent, and otherworldly made itself known. And then, just as silently, it vanished, leaving behind nothing but questions, and a sky that somehow no longer felt so empty. If this video made you skeptical, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos they don't want you to see. Your support is how we fight for the truth and bring you the most compelling evidence on this planet. Stay curious, and we'll see you in the next one.